Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Search My Heart podcast.
A podcast where we have honest conversations from an honest place.
If you can't already tell, we're super excited to be here today. We can start off by introducing ourselves, right?
Yes,
Prince?
let's go for it.
Okay. Well, my name is Dami. I am 27 years old. I live in Toronto with my husband, Prince.
Yes, my name is Prince. I'm 30, going to be 31
Ooh.
this year. Yes, I live in Toronto here with my wife, Dami.
Okay. Prince, why Search My Heart as the name of the podcast?
Well, Search My Heart came from a place of just deep reflection. I preached a sermon about 2-3 years ago called Search My Heart. That was the title of the sermon. And when I was preparing the sermon, I just felt strongly that the sermon would resonate with a lot of people. And in many ways, it did. The feedback from the sermon was such that it helped me to realize that it helped people to go to a place of genuine honesty and vulnerability in terms of asking certain questions about what they really thought about life, situations they were dealing with, and just their walk with God. And so for me, that from that moment, there was always the desire to have a podcast that would carry on lines of what I shared on the sermon that day. And so that was the birth of Search My Heart. So it's taken maybe 2-3 years in its formation, but finally we're here.
I love that. I think we're supposed to call this SMH, right?
Yes.
Yes.
SMH. We'll go with that. Just go with that.
Like SMH. No. And what I love about what Prince said is, the older you get, the harder it gets to be vulnerable, to have your heart be pure towards God and towards other people. So that's what I love about what we're going to be talking about here. It's really searching our hearts to make sure that, it remains open and vulnerable to what God has in store and also towards people. Because sometimes I think, as you go through life, it gets harder. So I'm looking forward to having vulnerable conversations with you, Prince. And, issues that face Christians in 2025, in this era, in this generation. So I'm looking forward to that. Prince, let's get the people to know us a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, we can do some fun questions or just questions in general.
All right.
How old are you?
30.
You're 30
31.
plus, sir.
30 plus.
You're 30 plus.
Over 30 now.
Oh, no, he's exactly 30, right?
Yeah.
And I'm 27 years old. And, how do we know each other? Are we siblings? Are we married?
In case you don't know, this is my lovely wife, Dami.
Okay.
We've been married for almost 3 years.
Yes, going to 3.
Going to 3 years.
Are you having fun?
It's been fun.
It's been
lots of fun and lots of learning too. So.
Okay.
But yes, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Definitely fun.
I love that.
And how about you? Has it been fun for you?
I think you can make it more fun for me.
Oh, wow. All right.
I'm just joking.
Shouldn't have asked the question, but carrying on.
I'm just joking. I'm having a lot of fun. Prince is a very funny person, so I think I laugh almost every day.
Okay.
It's a blessing.
That's nice.
Anyway, we'll get into more of our personalities another time. Prince and I would say how we fell in love was through conversations about different things. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember when we first met, I guess how people started to suspect that, we were like, we liked each other or whatever it was. Like we would be in a group having a conversation and 1 hour later, everybody else in the group would like go because the conversation had been going for long. But Prince and I would just keep talking. And we loved talking about different things. We used to argue about theological issues. I don't know. I used to read Prince's...
I call them debates. But
Debates. Oh, you'll soon learn that word is a little triggering for me. But yes, we love talking about that. So, when we thought about doing this podcast, I was like, this is nice to go back to, our roots and talking about important issues and sharing and seeing what's on each other's heart. So I'm looking forward to this, honestly. I want to give a special mention to our producer, Ore, as well. She's also part of this.
yes, Ore.
Yeah.
We appreciate the hard work you're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to having you in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Well. So,
at some point.
point.
I know, right? The agreement is she'll come at least once.
Yes.
Each season.
Yes.
And we're going to hold her
We're going
to
to
that.
make sure that happens.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think just to go off over what you said, I think the key here is honest conversations from an honest place. So it will vary from different subjects about life, faith, subjects about, it could vary. It could also touch on marriage as well, but we are not limited by just speaking on things that have to do with marriage. It's
Yeah.
just for the everyday person who's navigating what it looks like to be a believer or someone who's searching for the path in which to follow Jesus and
Mm-hmm.
what that looks like. I think one of the biggest things you can do is to journey alongside people who create space for you to have honest
Yeah.
conversations. So it's a podcast where we have honest conversations from an honest place. So it's not polished necessarily, and we don't always have to agree. We can voice our frustrations or our tensions with certain subjects, where we're at, how we think we could see things, and how they could be different. But the goal is to have honest conversations from an honest place.
Yeah. Prince, let's delve deeper. Let's give people a little bit of a taste of what they can expect. What's a topic that they can expect to hear in the next few weeks as we chat?
Well, I mean, right off the bat, I think one of the things we'll talk about is what it means to follow Jesus in the modern day context of being a believer now, living in Toronto, what that
Yeah.
looks like, juggling work, school, if you're in school, or just doing life as a believer.
Yeah.
Subjects about finances in terms of how do I manage my finances and do life in terms of my commitment to God. And you could talk about tithing, giving. How do I serve in church? Do I
Mm-hmm.
get involved? How do I navigate relationships with friends,
Yeah.
not just romantic relationships? How do I navigate the commitments I have with my family? For
Yeah.
example, how do I navigate the relationship with my parents as they get older and as the seasons of life
Ooh,
change?
I love that one.
So,
Yeah.
so the
I love that one.
conversations could go from different angles, but what we want to do is pick a topic, discuss it from an angle where maybe we touch on things that a lot of people are thinking it, but not necessarily saying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those will be some of the topics I think, and there will be a lot more. But right off the bat, those are some of the things I think would be happy to discuss and share about. And also, as we continue to interact with you, as you watch, as you listen, it will be to get some of your thoughts on what are some core issues that maybe no one is really talking about, but everybody's dealing with it.
Yeah.
So those will be things we'll be looking forward to sharing about.
Yeah. And if you know anything about my husband, Prince, he's you know, introspective. So I'm looking forward for to personally getting a peek into what's going on in his head about all these topics and also getting to share that with you guys. I think it's a really great privilege and honor.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And it's not that hard to get to hear what I think about things, but it's still going to be valuable, I think.
Yes. You are a vital part of the podcast.
Thank you so much. I would like okay, so who's the host and who's the co-host?
I-
Let's look.
I genuinely don't think we need to discuss that. I think you are the host. I'm the co-host. Does that work?
I don't know what role do you want?
I think as long as we both share and we
Yeah.
both have the, because you will be asking questions, I'll be answering it, but I can flip the questions the other way around,
Okay.
and you can also answer them. But I think we can navigate that as we go. Maybe we'll have different hosts for different podcasts between both of us. So
Okay. I think we're just co-hosts. That's what I think.
yeah, let's go. With
Yeah,
that.
I think we're
So,
just co-hosts. Okay, so let's talk about logistics a little bit.
yeah.
Where can people find us?
Well, everywhere you get your favorite podcasts,
Yeah.
Spotify,
Spotify,
YouTube,
YouTube, Apple
TikTok,
Podcast.
Apple Podcasts. That wherever you get your favorite podcasts, go there, find us, search My Heart Podcast.
Yeah.
We're there, and you can share, you can like, you can subscribe, all the fun stuff you do for the favorite podcast that you follow. But we want to be a voice in your ear that offers a bit of balance,
Yeah.
but a refreshing honesty to everyday conversations that you're having.
Yeah, I think social media isn't really our thing. Documenting like our lives isn't really our thing
Yeah,
either.
we're trying to do better.
I know we're trying to do better, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Having more regular posts on the internet. So I am looking forward to that. And yeah, like Prince said, you can find us on Instagram. The handle will be posted in the notes as well, all our handles, so that you guys can find us there as well. But yeah, we're looking forward to this. What's another question? What would you say your relationship with God is like?
Oh wow, that's
Just like a
really
quick
went
overview.
into-
Quick overview.
Well, I love God. I love being a follower of Jesus. I love sharing about my faith, but I love learning about God's love for me and learning about the
Yeah.
purpose He has for my life through the Bible, through teachings, So I think all that, if I was to quantify what my relationship with God is like, it's one that's evolving and growing,
Yeah.
but one that allows me to really step into my own, learn about myself and learn
Yeah.
about who God has called me to be,
Yeah.
and then live out of that understanding. So that's how I would describe my relationship with God.
Yeah, I love that. And I think from observing Prince's life as well, he and God have a lot of fun. I would say God is probably your best friend and he gets to see the most raw and vulnerable bits of you. So I love that.
Yes, I dance a lot in my quiet time,
Yeah,
and I will probably not dance in any other context than the way I dance in my quiet
I know.
time, but that's where the vulnerability happens. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. What's my relationship with God
Yes.
like? Oh, yeah, you have to ask me.
What's your, what's your relationship with God like in this season since you threw it at me first?
Okay,
So,
what's my relationship with God? I think I would say my relationship with God is definitely one where like the most important thing to me is the father daughter dynamic.
okay.
I don't think I grew up with that deep understanding. Like I think I grew up with the servant master type of like paradigm.
Yeah.
And I do think there's context where that's important. But for me, like being God's daughter first is what I've been focusing on and learning about in the past few years. And it's been revolutionary for me. It's changed my life. I think living life understanding the love of God is it's just been such a blessing for me because I can be very performance oriented and sometimes I feel like I can get my identity from other things that aren't like that based like people's perception of me, but
Yeah.
being able to anchor my identity to God and how he feels about me has been amazing. So I'd say there's definitely that father daughter dynamic with me and God, and I love that. I would also say my relationship with God is vulnerable
Okay.
and real. I don't really like, I don't know how to do things for the sake of just doing it. So it's nice to have like, an open and honest relationship with God. It's definitely evolving, but I would say that's where me and, Big G are at. Yeah.
Well, you know what? To that point, I would actually say that's what we hope to actually have on this podcast.
Yeah.
Those out of it's out of that place we're hoping to have conversations.
Yeah.
Places where the conversations are genuine, honest, and real. Like talking about subjects that affect our day to day lives as
Yeah.
Christians, as followers of Jesus, as people who live in this city of Toronto, and just do life. So whether it's on finances, relationships, expectations of from parents or family, how we navigate relationship with our parents as they get older, uh, career choices, pursuing purpose, living a life that's comfortable, but also a life that is sacrificial unto God, how you navigate all that.
Yeah.
Whatever the subject is, I think the goal is just to have conversations in a space where they are honest from an honest place,
Yeah.
but also we talk about the things that maybe for some reason we're all thinking it, but a lot of us are not really
Yeah.
voicing it out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging issue facing, you know, young people? I don't want to say young people, but just Christians in 2025. What would you say?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
No, just one. I didn't mean it to be deep. I,
No, no,
I
I
can
mean,
answer first.
yeah,
I can
you
answer
can go
first
for
since
it.
I have something in mind. I would say the concept of like going all in. I feel like the concept of going all in with Jesus is easy to conceptualize when you're younger
Yeah.
because you don't have that much anyway. Want to do a little bit of a rapid fire before we end today's podcast?
Well, if you lead as the host, and then
Oh my gosh.
I'll be happy to follow your lead.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's debrief the holidays a little bit. Do you want to share? So for context, we're recording today, January 25th. So exactly a month from Christmas,
Yeah.
right? So do you want to share what were some highlights for you during this holiday season?
I think
You can do two highlights.
Twilight. I did a naming ceremony for my niece,
Oh
so
yeah.
that was fun on Christmas Day actually. So
Yeah.
we got to have family over in our space, and that was really nice. I think, and I still got to spend time with family, both from my wife's side and mine as well. So that was
Yeah.
really great. That was a real highlight for me because you don't get to do namings a lot on the 25th of December. So, but I also think the another highlight for Christmas was spending time at my church. This is the first Christmas period I've
Yeah.
got to spend at the new church that I've been pastoring for over a year since I left my previous place of ministry, and it was nice to see the church in its Christmas element and how people are
Yeah.
excited to love on you, to support you.
Super generous.
Exactly,
I've
and
never
to
experienced
give
anything
as
like
well.
that before. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it just sometimes when you've experienced Christmas a certain way for a long time, you kind of know what to expect. But this was new. It was refreshing. There's nothing about this last Christmas that was consistent with what we've done over the
Yeah.
years. We don't usually do a naming ceremony on the 25th of December, so that was fresh.
You finally let us have a Christmas tree.
Well, we won't talk about that today. I don't think we have to. I also don't want to give anyone the impression that I don't like Christmas. So
Okay.
we just have different
I just
opinions
say
on what we do
you and
about
the
the tree.
Grinch have a few things in common.
If you want us to have an honest conversation about Christmas trees, gifts, and all that, I'm happy to do that. But maybe today's not.
I
Maybe that's
okay.
a separate
I'm
podcast.
just messing with you.
No, no, that's fine. But you could share
Two
two
highlights.
favorite highlights from
I mean, you stole
highlight show.
mine. Definitely, my niece was the center of the show. I love her so much. Yeah, so that was best blessing. Uh, yeah, and I liked having my family around. It's the first time in a while where most of my siblings were together for Christmas. So I am grateful for that as well. Let me think of a new one that I didn't like. I think spending Christmas for the first time in our home.
Mm.
Yeah. So that was nice as well. No, for context, we've been married for, like I said, almost 3 years. So this was our third Christmas together.
Yeah.
But it was the first time we were in a space that felt like our space because we had moved. So I'm happy we got to put up our Christmas tree and Christmas decor and host a little bit for Christmas. So I like that as
A lot.
well. I think we can do low lights. Low lights is, I don't know, it just gets really busy and it's exhausting. So I feel like I'm going to spend all of February relaxing. Definitely. Most of February relaxing because it was pretty tiring. What about you? Any lowlights?
I mean, with the business of it is it.
Yeah.
I think that's just. It's not low lights in the sense that you don't enjoy the festivities and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm someone who also likes to retreat and step away. So, and with every year that comes, it becomes even harder to do
Yeah.
it because life gets busy, family commitments, church commitments, and just other things in your life that you also have to honor, friends and all that. So, but I think navigating that in terms of how busy it gets, but also making time to spend time with God,
Yeah.
to pray, to kind of cast vision for 2025 or for the next year.
Yeah.
So, and usually it's still the same time because Christmas is the 25th of December, and then you have how many more days before the new year? And
Yeah.
and so sometimes you have to be strategic in terms of planning way ahead. How will I take some time to take a retreat and prepare for the year? So,
Yeah.
just the business of it.
So to add context to that, Prince is a firm believer in taking like a few days before any year ends to reflect on the year and to plan for the year ahead. So I think the older you get, the harder it is to actually shut down for a couple of days. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
good. But you still got to do it. So high
And
five. Good
yes,
job.
And I think one of the things I'll say to that is it's a big lesson. Sometimes you don't have to leave it too late in the year to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe
Maybe
the
do
earlier.
October or November.
No, I wouldn't go as early as October. The years too.
Maybe November or like early
I think
December.
early December
Yeah,
is good.
early December.
December is
Yeah.
good. Mid December is also good. Just don't leave it to the point where if you're sensing it will probably be busier than you
Yeah.
expect it.
Yeah.
Then do it earlier. At the end of the day, if there are things you still need to discuss or think about, you can have a few hours at the end of the year to do that. But sometimes if it means you set some time earlier,
Yeah.
that way you have enough time because it's just as important. Once you step into the new year, it's all systems go.
Yeah.
It's very little time for you to recover from December before you have to keep going.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think this is a good place to end our introductory podcast. We can't even promise what the length of this podcast is going to be. So I guess we'll know. We'll see when we do our next episode.
What we can try to assure you on is that there will be episodes probably bi-weekly.
Yes, probably.
And
Yeah.
we will share on different subjects and different topics.
Yeah.
And we will try as much as possible to keep the conversations honest, true, and real.
Yes. Yes.
So until we see you on the next episode, God bless you.
Wait. I'm the host. The host ends the podcast,
My bad.
Prince.
I'll leave it
Yes.
to her
Yeah,
to
you have to
do
leave. Until we see you. What did you say exactly?
Until we see you on the next episode.
Until we see you at the next episode. Thank you for joining us. See you. Bye, everyone.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and find us on any of your favorite podcast or social media platforms. Follow us and follow what we're talking about.
Yeah, you'll see that in the notes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.